Hey everyone, it's Makeda Valletta. I am recording this video in two places, so hold on while I turn on my other camera. Why is it not working? Now I'm gonna have to do this all over again. What's the problem? Okay, here we go. Okay. Excuse the beeping. Okay, so once again, it's Makeda Valletta. Hope you guys are doing well. Today, I'm going to do this IG Live, which I will then post on YouTube. And I'm going to have a discussion about ass shots, actually. It's something that has been on my mind a lot over the past few months, and it's a bit disturbing, so I just need to talk about it because those of you who follow my work know that I'm a trainer. I actually, I have a Bachelor of Science in Exercise and Sports Science and Nutrition. And I also, went to graduate school for a couple of years at Columbia in Exercise Physiology and Nutrition. I am finishing my master's starting tomorrow, actually. And I've been a trainer for 15 years. I'm a dancer. But for me, I'm really into exercise for performance. But of course, we all care what we look like, and I think that that's normal, to care about what you look like, and we all have insecurities. But when you are uncomfortable with yourself to the point where you are willing to mutilate yourself and do things that put your health at risk, I feel like it's a problem. And so this whole ass shots thing just keeps being more and more coming out about it. I was just listening to this interview from 2 years ago from the Breakfast Club by this woman, Kimberly Smedley, who went to jail for doing ass shots. So she gave them to a bunch of celebrities, and she wrote a book. She ended up going to jail. And she talks about how it came out of the trans world. She learned how to do it from a transsexual, and she got it done in '99. And how, it came from trans people trying to get the surgeries to make them into women, which I've already said, and I'm not anti-trans. People can do what they want, but no amount of ass shots and implants and surgeries can make you into a woman, okay? And again, and that's another issue sometimes I have with the trans world, is when I express my opinions and feelings about it, and I'm not a hateful person, I don't wish any harm on them, but when I express, some of the inequalities and unfairness, so we don't necessarily agree with everything, whenever I express that, and as a woman, when I say that I won't see you as a woman, if you don't have a uterus and you don't bleed in every month, and people say to me, well, every woman doesn't bleed, every woman doesn't this, every woman doesn't have 2 X chromosomes, every woman, so then they start to tell you that gender doesn't exist, and there's no such thing as, there's no way you can define a woman. But yet trans people are getting surgery to make themselves into what they thought a woman should be, their idea of a woman. So a lot of that is coming from the trans world. Again, that also touches on that whole connection between women and trans, or not trans, like even gay men, how influential they have been on women and women's beauty, like the fashion industry, run by gay men. I remember when I was in high school in the 90s, and it was the era of the supermodel. And I remember my dad saying to me, no man thinks that these super skinny women are attractive. Gay men run this and they're not attractive to women. So what they put, what you would see in a lingerie magazine is different than what you would see on the runway, because it was run by men who are not really into women, right? And so they've had that influence on beauty with us. A lot of the makeup artists, if you're a female star and you have makeup artists doing your makeup, a lot of times they're men and they do drag queen makeup. Drag queens don't wear makeup like women. So you have a lot of that. So even within that, right, the women who choose to get the ass shots. I remember being in Atlanta in strip clubs, looking at girls whose bodies were crazy. I mean, any strip club can make a girl feel bad about herself, right? So I remember being in strip clubs with friends of mine guy friends of mine who are ass experts, who I'd be looking at some girls like, oh my God, this shit's crazy. And I started thinking, my ass is not that big. And I'm like, damn, I couldn't live in Atlanta with no ass. I would feel bad about myself. I really, I probably would. But then my friend would be like, oh, that her ass is not real, her ass is not real. And I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell that those asses were fake at first. I remember when talk first came out that Nicki Minaj's ass was fake. I didn't think that when she first came out. I thought her body was crazy. So, and then I grew up in Washington Heights in New York City full of Dominicans. And Dominicans all my life have had crazy ass and hips. But then I started finding out, oh, they got a lot of surgery too. So what that means in Brazil at one point, not sure if it still was, but Brazil at one point was the capital, the number one with ass implants and surgeries and stuff like that. So what that means is that, yes, there were a lot of homegrown natural big asses in Atlanta. There were a lot of natural homegrown big asses in Brazil. There were a lot of natural homegrown big asses in Dominican Republic, but probably because of that, the girls who didn't have it felt bad and felt the so-called pressure and got surgery. Because those places do have a lot of natural ass that is real, but then there's also a lot of fake now. And so many people are fake, it's disheartening and it's crazy. So, when I hear girls say things like, oh, I feel the pressure, like, I can say for a black woman, I feel a little bad because I've known black women. I've known black women who were attractive, but black men were never attracted to them. And they always, and they didn't have an ass. Like, they might have had a really small ass. And they were like, black guys never liked me. I remember I saw this girl from Chicago, and black guys never paid her any attention. And I felt bad, you know. And that's the same thing that this woman, Kimberly Smedley, said. It was that her ass was so flat and she was so, tired of feeling bad about herself, and she really did feel bad about herself. But the thing that I don't get, okay, is that if I were in that position, number one, I'd be working my ass off like crazy, trying to build what I could. Like, I believe in putting in hard work, because putting in hard work doesn't backfire on you. But even with that being said, everybody is limited to how big any muscle can get. You know what I'm saying? No matter how bad I want big arms, I'm not going to get big arms. I'm always going to have long, thin arms, right? I might admire another woman who has thicker arms. I'm like, I want more arms like her. But there's no workout. I could do workouts that might make my arms a little bit bigger, but I'm never going to have brolic arms. This is how I'm built. So I think part of it is like accepting that, then, working your body and doing, doing the best you can to make your body better, but then also like accepting it and putting health first. Because I mean, do you want to die at 50 or 60 because you got some shots in your ass or some stupid shit? I think about quality of life, and there are plenty of women with small asses and flat asses who have men by their side and have husbands. And there are plenty of women with big asses who don't. There's plenty of women with big asses who've been alone all their life and they never have that. So to me, doing that, altering yourself in that way is crazy. I mean, when I was in high school, I used to wish my breasts would get bigger. Actually, ever since I was little, I probably wished that would happen. But then, like, they never did, And it's like, I just accepted it, I wasn't like, oh, let me go take birth control pills, because I knew girls that would take birth control pills and their breasts got bigger, and I might have thought about, let me do that. Or, but getting surgery and stuffing implants into them is never something I would have thought about doing, because to me, that's just like crazy. And then if you lose sensation, this woman who get implants, I remember, messing with two women that had breast implants, and they did not even respond at all. Like, so I'm like, what's the point of getting implants to get bigger breasts if you no longer feel? Like, that takes away from your quality of life. And I remember like when I was in my early 20s, I'd be in Miami, and all these girls in Miami had breast implants. I really didn't like how it looked. I did fitness competitions. Like, when I first graduated college, I competed in like some figure fitness competitions. And I remember being, all the girls had breast implants that did that. They were all fried up in orange. I'm naturally brown. I got penalized because I didn't paint my skin with that whatever paint they put on. And I have some fat under my butt. And the girls who compete in those competitions have no fat on their ass, but then they have these breast implants. So my body, no breast implants. I have fat on my ass, and I'm not painting my skin and tanning myself to death. So I didn't fit into that. You know what I'm saying? Then I have my hair like this. I'm not putting on no stringy ass wig, because now it's wigs. Girls don't even do weaves anymore. I'm not putting on no stringy ass long wig to look like everybody else, which I also think is pretty lame, because I think that black women now have dropped the ball when it comes to stylish hair, because in the 90s even, black girls had hairstyles. We had bangs, we had layers, we had different kinds of haircuts. Now all the girls do is a blue wig, it's a purple wig, and it's just long and straight, no style, no curls. It's so corny. You know, everybody fucking looks alike. But anyhow, to me, I'm like, I noticed when I'm walking around Miami, yeah, all these girls in Miami have breast implants, but dudes were still trying to talk to me. Dudes were still rolling up. So I'm like, having small breasts is not hindering me. You know what I'm saying? It's not. And then I was in the discussion that I was just listening to on the Breakfast Club from 2 years ago, this woman, Kimberly Smeltley, who had gone to jail for doing ass shots. Envy asked her, so what will you tell your daughter? Because she's a daughter, she got nieces, if they say they want to ask. And she was like thinking about that and confused and thinking, well, can I tell them that I know somebody that's good, that I could send them to? Never in there did she say I would teach them to love themselves and to be happy with what they have. But it's not just about being happy with what you have. It's also about constantly working on becoming better. Like for me, I genetically have good skin from my parents. I got my body from my mom. But you know what? I never took that for granted and say, you know what? I have nice skin. I'm not going to fucking take care of it. Or you know what? I have a nice shape. I'm not going to work out. No, because then one day you wake up and you don't have it. You want to put work in to make yourself even better so you can reach your full genetic potential. And the older I get, the more I am focused on working out. You know, I was looking at videos this morning of Beyonce from on Instagram from years ago. And me and Beyonce were born the same year, team 1981. And, you look at how she's aged and how good a shape that she is in, how she dances even harder now than she did back then. And a lot of people might think, a 37-year-old can't go that hard. There's a lot of 37-year-olds that are in better shape than 21-year-olds because people are so fucking lazy and they don't do shit. And that's why as a trainer, my real passion was to work with athletes. I never wanted to work with regular people, even though I do. Because everybody wants a quick fix and they want to be lazy. People want quick fixes and they don't want to do the work either. Because sometimes maybe even a quick fix is possible, maybe. But you still got to put in the work. People are lazy and they think that by talking to me something's going to happen or whatever. So that's why all this surgery is such a big deal. But when girls say that they felt like they had to get ass shots because they felt the pressure, I don't have any sympathy for that type of thing because I don't have any sympathy for listening to that because it's like everybody you might have dudes who are short who they feel the pressure that they people like tall dudes or there's a man who's going bald early. I mean, you got men who get the hair transplants, but it's just that we all have some kind of pressure to be something or to be better, to have a bigger this, some dudes, they got the pressure to have a bigger dick. He might be worried about that. This girl's worried that her ass is not big enough. She's worried that her breasts are not big enough. All that like ordering a body and not really focusing on your health first. For me, everything is health first. Because you're only going to be young for so long. And if you do everything with surgery, it's not going to last as long either. And I was always afraid of, which is what probably drives so many people to get surgery too. I've always been afraid of being one of those people, you might see a Playboy bunny, a woman who was a Playboy bunny in the 60s or the 70s or something. And you see her now, and she looks so horrible that you can't even tell it's the same person. They're unrecognizable. I don't want that. So I've always been focused on, let me keep my shit together, let me put in the work so that I can age gracefully, my shit doesn't just fall apart. But these girls with these ass shots and injecting who knows what into them, and that's the thing I can say I respect about Cardi B is that at least she kept it real, and she admitted it, and she said I could die at any second because I don't know what the fuck I put in my ass. At least she's real about that. And Cardi's young. Let's see in 10 years what happens with her ass. She's probably going to have some type of... And I was saying this, even with the ass implants. Forget about just the shots, with the ass implants. The ass implants, I kept thinking, all the women that got breast implants in their 90s, give it about 10 years and they had a problem. They had to get their breasts redone. Something had exploded inside of them. Every single last one of them. So to me, I'm like, if that's happening with breast implants, imagine what's going to happen with the ass because you have to sit on your ass. And then how does that work sexually? Because, I know men have said that it doesn't feel good, that it feels like having sex with a couch. It doesn't feel good or whatever. But obviously, as much as I hear men insult it, there's obviously a lot of men who also like it because those girls they get dudes, you know what I'm saying? They stay get dudes. And some of these male celebrities, all you see them do is mess with girls that got a bunch of surgery. So some of them must like it. So that's also going to make girls do it because they see that. And if you see that a lot of the girls that are winning have had a lot of work done. And to me, that's really disheartening. That's one thing that I appreciated about Tyra Banks back in the day, that she would always show herself without all the makeup. And she would tell people that, this is airbrushed. We have professional makeup artists. I don't look like this. She was honest about that. Now this is the era of like so much plastic surgery. Not only has makeup artistry gone to another level, but everybody's had so many things done. And so there are women who I think are stunningly beautiful, and it's just all these procedures, And so I just feel like it's important, and it makes sense that we all care about what we look like, but I'm not obsessed to the point where I'm going to mutilate myself. And I think if you're mutilating yourself, something is wrong. And that's the thing that I meant to say, was that Envy asked this woman, Kimberly Smedley, who went to jail. She was on it for 12 years. He asked her, did you have a dad? And she said no. And he said, yep, because I tell my daughter every day that she's beautiful. That I tell my daughter every day that she's beautiful, and and so my dad always did that as well. My dad always made me feel like if any man doesn't realize how lucky he is to be with you, fuck him. He's a piece of shit. Fuck that. Like even my last relationship, I shed some tears. My dad was like, what are you crying about? There's tons to do. Get a man who worships you. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so having a father telling you that does a lot for women's self-esteem as well. And yes, not only does beauty standards change, but it changes in different parts of the world. Forget about one country. In certain countries, people value this and that, but it doesn't matter. If I go someplace where people value fat girls, I'm not going to get fat because people value fat girls, because everybody in the world doesn't have the same taste. I have an aunt, a godmother, who I'm very close to. I spent a lot of time growing up with. She's always been a big woman, and she was born 1941. My dad used to always tell me, oh, your aunt, she was homecoming queen and she was prom queen. And I would hear my dad say that, and it was kind of like in one ear and out the other. But then when I was there, my aunt, like a couple years ago, showed me the photos from when she was in high school in Florida. And she was homecoming queen and prom queen, and her boyfriend was the captain of the football team. And I was always going to Weight Watchers with my aunt growing up. So she was always doing things to try to lose weight. But she's always been a big woman, and she always had high self-esteem. She's always had men, and she's always been glamorous. So there are people who prefer big girls. There's people who prefer slim girls. There's people who prefer tall chicks. There's people who prefer muscular chicks. People who prefer short, little petite chicks. There's people that prefer long hair. There's people that prefer light skin, dark skin. People have their own preferences. If a dude says, I prefer light skin chicks with straight hair, I'm not going to get mad at that, because we all have our own preferences. There's nothing wrong with that. And so because of that reason alone, it's crazy to feel like you have to get all the surgery to change yourself. Because all it's going to do is, maybe before, like, okay, if I got breast implants, I would attract a lot of men who like that. But without it, I attract men who don't. So you attract men either way. But some people, I guess, just don't care about their health and the reasons that they have to live. And then, for me, basically we're all affected by the standards of beauty a little bit, but to me, health is the overall thing for me. And that I have a healthy look, that I am healthy, and that I radiate healthy, and that I age gracefully. Like, my health and my vitality is so important to me. And I don't feel sorry for girls saying, oh, well, I felt the pressure to have a big butt, because everybody, so what? Now girls getting their ass and their breasts done, So you don't even see a lot of girls with you don't see a lot of itty bitty titty girls with big booties. Like, I don't feel like I see that a lot. A lot of girls are even getting that done too. That's not gonna make me do that shit. I'm not doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then when people get, the thing with liposuction and fat transfers is that your body usually will reabsorb the fat. Your body will usually reabsorb it. And so that a lot of times is not permanent. But I think that the message it sends is not good, because if you look at, okay, I am Team Cardi, but if you look at the Cardi, first of all, despite the surgery, all these chicks also are light skinned with the same weave, with like different color weaves. So you got Cardi B, light skin, fake ass, fake breast, and all the crazy wigs, right? Same thing with Nicki Minaj. Same thing with this new girl, Sweetie or whatever. All these freaking chicks, they all look alike, right? But what was I gonna say? So what it does say though is that the girls who are winning in the industry and making the money and becoming stars got all this surgery. So it makes a lot of people feel like they have to do that to become a star. That's what it's saying. Excuse me. But I ran track, and a lot of track athletes do performance enhancing drugs. And I'm a competitive person, you know, I play lots of sports, I like to win, but I wasn't willing to take all kinds of crazy drugs to win. I'm not going to take all kinds of crazy drugs to get to the Olympics. I'm not doing that shit. So I have my limit. Yes, I like to play sports. Yes, I am competitive, but not to the point where I'm going to take stuff that's going to damage my health just to win. But a lot of people are not like that. Sorry, a lot of athletes are not like that. And like high level athletes, and a lot of people who sorry, a lot of people who want to be stars, you know, like those stars, whether they be Hollywood, music industry, and high level athletes, all have that in common, where a lot of them are willing to do anything. I'm not willing to do anything. I'm not willing to do anything for that. So, and then there's this trainer, got bodied by Jay or whatever, who I followed her on Instagram. I thought she was beautiful, but then, and I knew she had a fake ass. I think she's Puerto Rican, she's Hispanic, lives in Atlanta. I knew she had a fake ass, and all of a sudden, she is posting about how she's to get it taken out. She had just had her third baby, and it was getting too big and causing all these problems. And then she shows on Instagram like these disgusting, you know, videos and photos of him changing her bandage, like her husband changing her bandage, which to me, I can't imagine. Like, that's real love. What that could do to your sex life. For if he got with you because you had a nice ass and he liked your ass, and now he's been having sex with you from the back and pounding. What is it like that last day when he knows, okay, this is the last time I'm going to have sex with this ass. Now it's about to be this long road of her ass being mutilated and not being able to have sex and waiting to see what it's going to look like in the end. And now, you know, last time he had sex with you, he's behind you. Next thing you know, he's changing your bandages. And that's disgusting, you know, like that. What if he never gets it out of his head? He just sees your mutilated ass. Okay, so now you can't sit with your baby. Like, that shit's stupid. But then she's on Instagram promoting like she's a trainer, and that's the thing that I told you that pisses me off about this industry. There's so many people who call themselves trainers. There's so many people who are big on Instagram, who all these people follow, including celebrities, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. First of all, they're not qualified and they don't know what they're doing. And they're leading all these people, oh, drink this flat tummy tea. And this chick got bodied by Jay. She was selling a bunch of bullshit, which I don't respect trainers that do that either, but I still kept saying, okay, she's cool. So then, and then she put this picture that was so disgusting. Ugh, like I couldn't even look at it. I sent it to my dude and he was like mad at me for sending it to him. So she posted on Instagram with all this chopped up meat in her ass. So then I'm like, okay, I have respect for her for being that transparent. But then next thing I know, I see in my news feed, she posted a picture of Johnny Blaze laying on her stomach. Like, you know, naked laying on her stomach and Johnny Blaze's butt. And I'm like, wait, hold up. Doesn't Johnny Blaze have ass shots? Because I know I saw her in an interview talking about how she had ass shots. And I was confused. And so I wrote that. All these people started attacking me. I didn't say anything mean to her. I just asked that question. Because all these posts I've been seeing about about this J chick talking about, and I've seen her, there's a documentary on BET that Lala produced. I've seen her, she was on TV. She's been on TV talking about it, all this stuff. All this shit you talking about how you fucked yourself up doing this, and now you're gonna post a picture of a girl who has also gotten ass shots, and she posted a picture with the eyes with the hearts in it, and like just Google Gaga over her, and I'm just like, that's so fucking dumb, because there's plenty of real asses out here you can Google Gaga over. Why would you sit here and talk about how bad it was. That's like if somebody was an ex-drug addict and they got themselves out of that, and now they're talking to people about don't do drugs. Then you're gonna post a picture of a heroin needle or somebody, like, it's just stupid. You know what I'm saying? So you're now like posting this girl. Now you're worshiping another girl with ass shots. Like, so when I said that, I just had all this hate come at me. She got mad at me. And then she came on my Instagram page and said, "Oh, my ass is better than yours, even with all of it, even with all my scars." I'm like, "No, bitch, no, it doesn't." Okay, first of all, no, it doesn't. And just to try to attack me, and I'm over here being real. You know what I'm saying? And I'm over here trying to teach women how to build the best version of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really want to try to build a bigger ass or a stronger back or more defined abs or more defined arms and yada, 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 you got to train. You got to work your body, put stress in your body, train like an athlete. And that's what I do. That's what I'm qualified to do. That's what my degrees are in. And that's what I've been doing for the last 15 years. And I speak on what I know. And I would never use my platform to lead people astray and trick them to make a dollar. I'm not about that. Sometimes I wish I could be because I make more money, but I'm not. So that ass shot shit, if any of you chicks do that dumb shit, you're not going to feel, I'm not going to feel sympathy for K. Michelle. K. Michelle's an idiot too. Like, I'm sorry. It's just dumb. It's just fucking dumb. And then a lot of them, "Oh, I didn't have to do it because I had an ass." And all you sound stupid. Why would you inject something in your ass and you have no idea what it is? Including that J chick. And if she was trying to tell me I was stupid, I'm like, "No, bitch, you're stupid because you said that you didn't even know what was in it. You didn't research it. Why would you do that?" And then you're out here promoting, like, no, stay in your lane. That's why I need to get out of the fitness industry because there's so much bullshit. And then you got trainers on social media acting like their body is natural and they're working hard. Even Bernice Burgos, like, I thought she was gorgeous, and I found out she got a little bit of everything done. A little bit of everything. And then she's in the gym like, "Oh, I work out. Like, okay, how much do you really work out? How come you need to work out from the beginning?" Like, I don't get it. But people can do what they want. I'm just saying. So, hope you guys have a good day. And thanks for listening. Bye.